All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being on the Daily Huddle. We want to welcome you. Hope this morning finds you well. We certainly see that in Atlanta, Georgia, there's a beautiful morning out there. My name is Giovanni Gonzalez, and this is the beginning of the Daily Huddle. This is the episode number. What episode is this now, Saurel?
Number 18.
Episode number 18, and we have an unbelievable speaker. This is the coaches of coaches. But I want to just give you a sense of what Daily Huddle is about. It's an opportunity to start your day fresh and powerful with the right context, to give you the tools and the insights to make the right decisions, to have the right emotions during the day. And you never know where this could lead you, right? How you start your day gives you the rest of your day. Saurel, good morning.
Good morning, Giovanni. Good morning. This is the Daily Huddle, and thank you to everyone, especially Jeff, who's joining us, and the 17 other expert guests who've joined us to make the Daily Huddle possible. Our promise to bring you experts who can support the kind of inquiry and decision-making you're looking to fuel your day isn't possible without our expert guests. So I honor you, I thank you, and of course, not possible either without the studio audience here on Zoom and the worldwide audience on social media, making the Daily Huddle possible. So welcome everyone. Giovanni, thank you.
Thank you, Saurel, and thank you everyone who's joining us on our live studio. I love to say that on our live studio. I just love saying that. So I want to.
It's a declaration, Gio.
Introduce Jeff, and this is someone who's really close to my heart, given the contribution that he has been for me for so many years, and really, truly, this is just kind of a selfish thing to say. He has been a contribution to thousands of people. I'm going to tell you a little bit of his background, and then we'll introduce Jeff and just get into this unbelievable question. So Jeff Blochowiak is a married man. He has one child, Sophia. He has 25 years of experience empowering people in the area of business and finances. He has built a multi-million-dollar company where he gets to coach and empower over 500 agents under his leadership. He loves and his passion and enthusiasm so much for coaching that he leads at the level of leadership and business, but he also teaches his daughter's sixth grade girls basketball team. And I've heard the stories, and they're really wonderful on how he uses business strategies for little girls. It's just amazing what he does. Personally, he has truly shifted the kind of mindset that I needed to do to allow myself to be out there in the world and just allow my self-expression to be out there. And every time I get a chance to speak with him, I'm a new human being from that moment forward. So it really is an honor for me and a privilege for me to introduce him this morning in the Daily Huddle. And the question that Jeff is going to get us started with is, how can I grow and serve in difficult times? I saw him not long ago. I saw him reinvent himself and his business in such a remarkable way, given the epidemic, and it's just drawing a new opportunity to his life. And I was blown away how fast he did it, how powerful he did it. So maybe you can give us an insight, Jeff, of the context, the mindset, and the strategies that you took on. Thank you, Jeff, for being here.
All right, thank you. Hey, it's really an honor. I'm actually used to listening to Saurel and Giovanni, and I'm usually in their audience, or if they're speaking, I wouldn't miss it. And Giovanni and I, we go back a long way. I've been in the audiences with him, listening and learning and growing, and it's just amazing to me the leaders that you are and the contribution that you bring. And every time I'm in a conversation around these guys, like, I'm at another level. So it's an honor to be here with you guys. So I appreciate that introduction, and I want to tell you that, with everything going on with the virus and uncertainty, I found that there's another virus that I was concerned about that I didn't really see at first. Is called the virus of fear in the mind. And so I found, everything, it sounded really good what you said there, Giovanni, about how I reinvented my business quickly and things like that. But really, how it was for me was I had a grand opening in my office, and And literally, you saw it. Like I invested a lot of money in this new office, and I have flat screens everywhere and furniture. And I was sitting in this empty office thinking like, oh my gosh, I probably wouldn't have bought all that. I probably wouldn't have done that. And I'm walking around going, what am I going to do? Like, this is like, I put all this money into my plan here, and now I don't know what's going to happen with this. And I have other parts of my business, but this part right now, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I'm watching the news a lot, right? I'm watching the news. I'm in my empty office, and I'm not feeling very good about it. And, I like to say I'm a positive thinker, and I'm not negative, because I can tell you when I'm thinking negatively, it's all true. Like, I can tell you it's true. This is true. This is true. These are real issues that I'm dealing with here. And then I got on a call with some leaders, and I was listening to them speak, and they really talked about some of the issues that are going on, but what their plan is. But then they started talking about opportunities. They started talking about how we can connect with more people, how we want to be in communication more than ever. And Giovanni, what you said is I love it. I'm borrowing it all the time now, is that I'm not into social distancing. I'm into physical distancing, but I'm actually more social. So I found that after I got off this call with these leaders, that I really saw hope, I saw excitement, I saw opportunity. And then I realized that this virus of fear in my mind, it really got me. And then I saw that these leaders literally transform me in a conversation, and that I can do that with people too. That if I'm connecting with people, I'm talking about, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you 2 quotes of what I've been saying for myself and other people that have made a big difference for me. And the first is that in a crisis, beware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity. That's from JFK. And so, as I'm connecting with people, there are dangers, and everyone's dealing with different things, right? My father's in assisted living, and I'm concerned every day, like, that if that virus gets past the wall there, what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with him? We're dealing with, financial issues. We're dealing with real issues. Everyone is in a different situation, and there are dangers, but there's also opportunities, I believe, if we look for them. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I said this, is that positive thinking sometimes works, negative thinking always works, and positive action equals growth. And so I started saying this to myself. I started sharing it with other people, because I saw, okay, look, if I start talking about positive thinking, I start arguing with myself like, yeah, but. And if I start looking at negative thinking as it always works, then I can catch myself in that pattern, right? So I started looking at what positive actions can we take in our business? What positive actions can we take in our life? And every day I was in those conversations with people instead of just watching the news. So, hey, what can we do to make our lives better? What are you doing with your time? How can we play offense in our business? And I'll tell you this, right now, certainly we got to play offense, but we also have to play defense. We have to keep our family safe. We have to keep our money safe. I'm looking at what are my options on my office lease? Can I defer payment? Like, what are things I can do? What expenses can I cut down? What are smart things that I can do to play defense? But once I've done all that I can do there, then I got to look at how can I grow as a person, as a leader, as a business? Where are the opportunities? And then get into action, because if we're in positive action, there is some growth that can happen for us. And so right now I'm finding that parts of my business, they're not going to grow. Like there are people right now that are not ready for a business conversation, or there are people that are not ready to deal with their finances or some of the things that we do. But there are also people that are more ready than ever. And so all we can do, if we connect with more people and we look for where are the opportunities to add value and get into positive action, then what we're going to find is maybe there's some things that we missed that we can do that if we're in that mode of fear that we can't do. So Giovanni, that's the first 2 things I wanted to share, is that, if we look for the danger and are aware of it, we also see opportunities. And if we know that positive thinking sometimes works, negative thinking always works, and positive actions equal growth, then we can start to focus on, okay, what positive actions can I take? So, in my life, I'm looking at what skills can I develop? We were using Zoom before all this happened, but not like we are now. Now we have to use Zoom, right? So, Saurel, I had, okay, I'm going to use Zoom. I have this plan, and then I got everything all organized, and then I jumped on there, and no one's on my Zoom meeting. I'm like, where is everybody? And then after about 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm shutting this thing down. Like, no one's on here. This is embarrassing, right? And come to think, they're all in a different Zoom room. Like, somehow I have more than one Zoom room. All this is going on. I shut my meeting down. And then people are like, well, we were waiting for you. I'm like, I was waiting for you. And so, so I had this whole conversation about what was happening there that wasn't even true, right? So I had to regroup. My next Zoom meeting was a little better. Now you can see I can even put on backgrounds, like I'm getting better, how to run a webinar. Like I could tell you all these stories of all these things that didn't work out very well. But suddenly we're starting to grow. We're getting better at Zoom. We're connecting in ways that we haven't before. And it's some of what we were doing before isn't growing. Maybe we're losing some parts of our business, but there's also parts of our business right now that we can grow and connect with that we couldn't do before we were using this technology. So look, it's not better or worse. It's just different. And how we look at the opportunities to make ourselves better and grow and what game we choose is going to determine what's going to happen with us next. So look, I don't know why I'm all excited here. I'm talking with the Saurel and Giovanni's group, so I get extra excited here. But the biggest thing that I saw here for people is that if we get off of the fear and look at where the growth is, then suddenly we can get into positive action and we feel more in control of what's going on. The moment we feel out of control, then we can get really stuck. So I keep sharing it with everybody because I need it for myself, is that, again, negative thinking always works, and I can't argue with that. And if I get into positive action, something's going to happen. There's also, I think there's always an opportunity to develop more skills. As I'm looking at Zoom and video editing and all these things that I didn't have skills in before, backgrounds on Zoom, I don't know if my skill is at a high level in some of these things yet, but it's getting better every week. And so as I'm having some successes and failures with these new skills, I'm growing in my skills. I'm growing as a leader, but also I find parts of my business are starting to grow because we're playing a different game. And so I could spend a lot more time on specifics, but I want to tell you, playing offense and defense are something we have to do. We have to be aware of. But if we're getting into action, then good things are going to happen.
Thank you, Jeff. That's awesome. I'd love for you to create a real feel for the studio audience and the world. Tell me this. How did you use to make money before COVID-19? Like, how does the cash register ring for Jeff? And how did it stop? And given what you're practicing, seeing the opportunity, taking positive action, what's now making the cash register ring, and how did you get there?
Yeah, so, we do two things. We are working with customers in the area of finances, and the other thing is we're doing our agency development. So we have quite a few agents in different cities, and a lot of this was physical offices. We would do webinars, but we would do a lot of classes and seminars. And right now, no one wants to go to a seminar, right? I mean, we could hand out a free mask at the seminar, and I don't think people are going to show up. So while we were using technology and leveraging it here and there, suddenly we're no longer doing physical appointments. We're not doing physical trainings. I have classrooms in my office that are all empty. And so suddenly, we have to do things in a different way. So, we're like, okay, how can we leverage technology to see more people faster? So, a webinar, a Zoom meeting, we've recorded some of our seminars, and we shorten them to trailers that you could text out to someone. And so, I had to learn, how do you host a video? Like, there's these little things that so we started finding that we could actually, with technology, reach more people than we were physically anyway. And so while we haven't perfected all of it, we feel that what we're doing is more scalable now, because if we have a good video that we can send out to people about certain things, if we can invite people on a webinar or a Zoom meeting, suddenly there's less geographic boundaries. There's not a limit on how many people can attend. If I do a follow-up meeting for a client on a certain topic, I could have, between 1 to 10 people on there instead of just one person in my office. We can record things that we weren't recording before, and then, put them out and host them later, like you guys are doing right now. So I will tell you that probably it's different in some ways, but I thought with some of this downtime, I could really do some things, but I'm not having the downtime. People can find me on Zoom easier. Like we're able to get more people faster on Zoom in front of me than I was doing physically. And there's more leverage in it. So I will say that like some people are not ready to have a Zoom meeting, but some people are more ready, right? People are watching a lot of Netflix. Some people are stuck at home. They're looking for something to do. And I also think, Saurel, that in the past, not everyone was comfortable with Zoom like they are now. Like I have people that work with me that are in their 70s, and one of them, her name was Joy. She's having record production right now. And we were on, she's like, Jeff, I'm using Zoom now. I'm like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah, because it's like a joke with her, like she doesn't like technology. And now like she's changing her background, right? So she's doing things that she never would have done before. And I have some people that are young and real up on all the latest technology, but some people probably they should have done this a long time ago, but now because they have to, and because a lot of maybe their clients or schools are using it, everyone's using online technology now. So I think it's easier to reach people on this format than it was before. And because we're connecting and getting more meetings, Saurel, that's how we're able to have more transactions happen. And some people aren't ready to do business because they're scared. Some people are more ready to do business. So it's different, but because we can see more people faster in a lot of different ways we weren't before, that's why we can still have the ratios work to our favor. And maybe, I believe we're never going to go back. We're going to do physical stuff in the future, but because we're doing more online and leveraging Zoom and technology, that we're likely to do, a whole lot more of this permanently.
That's awesome, Jeff. That's awesome. Giovanni, do you have a question for Jeff, or shall we open it to the studio audience to interact with Jeff?
Yes, no, I just heard so much awesome stuff, right? So much awesome stuff. I just want to say one thing, and I love to open it to the audience. Some people are more ready to do business. Some people are less ready to do business, but what it opened up is an opportunity to see more people. And I could see how that translates to more business, more people, more business. Some are more ready because of the opportunity, because of the environment. Some people are less ready. Either way, I can see more people anyway. That was really awesome. So yeah, I would love to open it up for some of you who want to ask questions, who have a comment. Please raise your hand so we can see you, or go ahead and unmute yourself. Go ahead, Adriana.
Good morning. Thank you for your contribution. My question is, we are in the house with family members. I also help teenagers every Saturday. I had a meeting with them at 3 p.m. I would like to invite you when you have the time to participate. My question is exactly about them, the teenagers, because you are helping little girls. How you motivate them? Because they are feeling tired of classes in Zoom, and they are trying to use the time, but they want like to be on bed most of the time. Most of my teenagers, when they connect, they are like that. So I want to find ways to energize them better, motivate them better, because that attitude also affects the leaders, the parents who are doing what you said, trying to be better and find opportunities out there.
Well, I will tell you, I think I learned more from them than they learned from me, quite honestly. As a coach, for basketball, I said, okay, I know basketball. I'm a dad. I can do this. And I found out I didn't know what I was getting into, right? When you get a group of kids together and it's hard to have them listen. So I was in over my head. And after 4 years of it and getting some coaching from others, I did learn a few things. Actually, I learned a lot. I probably brought more from coaching girls into my business than I brought from my business into coaching girls. But specifically, to keep it brief here, I will tell you there's two things that I do right now to motivate. I don't want to say carrot and stick, but one of them, I'll call it a stick. There's a thing on my daughter has an iPhone, and I have it set up where I can control screen time. So, they love being on the screens and electronic devices. So I don't like negotiate all the time on that. So I can set up rules in advance. This is how much time you get every day. And if I set it up that way, I can make exceptions for it. But I don't have to argue with it every day. And I give her, okay, here's how you can have more screen time, and we have certain things. If you have your homework done, if we get chores done, if we get certain things done, then you could have more time on your screen. And that's something we don't have to talk about. That's just, we set up the rules, and I find her very motivated to do that. But the other thing is, I think when we can make a game out of anything, you know, like if you can turn exercise into a game, like running. Girls don't like to run, but when we can turn into a game where there's a contest, or they're playing tag or something like that. If we have maybe we have a game about cleaning the house, and if I do it with her, she's more into it, right? So okay, I'm gonna see if I can clean mine. You know, we just make it fun, try to make it a game, but also put some rules in place. And certainly with technology, I like screen time on Apple allows me to set up rules and parameters in advance, so it's not a negotiation. But you know, we try to make it fun, but we also have to have, you know, if she's not doing her homework at home, then that becomes a problem. So we got to make sure, okay, before you have more screen time, these things have to be done. And then if there's chores, let's try to make it a game and make it fun, make it a contest, or make a reward. And so I find that when I make it a game or put some parameters around screen time, that I told her there's this thing called dopamine, and I control your dopamine happiness in your mind through this screen time here. So she's like, Dad, she doesn't like it. She said, if she knew I was telling you about screen time rules, she said, don't tell anybody, because if kids find out that my dad told their parents about screen time, you know, then she's going to be very unhappy about that. So I guess that's my only two methods. When it's working, that's usually why. Doesn't always work though.
Awesome. Who else? What are you taking away from Jeff's conversation with us? What are you going to develop? What are you going to do more of?
This is Ronald. How you doing, guys?
Good morning, Ronald.
Good morning, everyone. This has been great, guys, and I'm really elated by your commitment, Giovanni and Saurel, on this. I just wanted to bring two things. You know, one from Jeff's comment, some people are not ready for business. I read an article yesterday that I really wanted to share. Really, in this period of COVID-19, there is a way that business people can actually really diagnose people. A lot of people are ready for business. And one thing that this article that I read, a guy say, low commitment consultation, something they call LCC, low commitment consultation. And in the business that I'm in, that's really what I'm going to push forward, that I'm pushing forward. Yeah, I'm an architect. And one thing is, we go in there and a lot of meetings, people tend to really look for solutions. So what I'm really bringing to Jeff in this is really engaging in a lot of conversation where you try to diagnose really what is the client need, and that's a very important part that really trigger or open a business in the future. And again, I really didn't get I know you're in a financial market, but I don't really have a complete picture of exactly what you do. If you might wanna open up a little bit on that, that would be good. So that was kind of a comment and a question also. Just as really looking for people that need business, the really first approach is diagnose exactly what they need. And again, I'd like to know what is your financial services exactly.
Thank you, Ronald.
Yeah, so happy to share it. So we do insurance, investments, and retirement. And so, you know, it's the whole spectrum of financial advising. And then certainly I'm a lot into the agency development end as well too. So I'm developing and growing the agency. So I will tell you from a marketing standpoint, what I look for is, what are the big opportunities, like currently right now, like 2020, okay, March, April, what are the opportunities right now? What are the pain that a lot of people facing, and what are the solutions in the industry that maybe are not readily in people's minds. I call it upgrading. So I look at, okay, what is right now an upgrade for as many people as possible? And that's where we're trying to focus our conversations, because there's a lot of different services that are out there. There's a lot of different consumers, but where is the majority portions of the market, and what is the pain and the needs that there are tools that they are maybe not aware of that we can upgrade what they're doing. And so I'll just give you two examples just to bring it to life. You know, in the area of insurance, a lot of people that have families have life insurance, but the old life insurance only pays when you die, whereas the new one has living benefits. And so I would say it doesn't hurt to do a quote, right? Because no one wants to downgrade what they're doing. But if I can show them, and you know, there's a book that I like. It's called Question-Based Selling. And the reason why I bring up that book is because that book gives awareness of 5 stages of a conversation. And so, you know, there's a lot of great books about sales, and we know that questions are important, and every business has a sales component to it at some point. But the 5 stages, the first one is curiosity. So we have to ask questions that engage people and get their attention, right? The second stage is the stage that many people miss. And it's the stage where we establish trust, credibility, and value. And the type of question that there is called a diagnostic question. And so the diagnostic question is going to really show what someone needs. So for one quick example that I use for this is that, you know, when I bought my first house with my wife, we didn't have a TV, and we left it no TV for 7 years. And when we had our daughter, we wanted to get a TV. And at that point, everything had changed. And I went to this store, and there's like different types of TVs. I don't know what I'm looking at. So the salesperson, you know, a lot of those will say, hey, you know, can I help you? And we'll say, no, we're just looking. Okay, that's what I'll often say. So he asked, I forget what he asked to get my attention, but then he asked me a diagnostic question. He said, do you have big windows in the room? And I said, yeah, I have big windows. He said, well, then you don't want at that time, you don't want the plasma because it looks great, but it's going to reflect. You're going to hate it in the daytime. I'm like, oh. Then he started asking me a series of questions. And then I said, that's what I need. But these diagnostic questions were questions I didn't even know to ask myself. And those questions added value to me. And I'm like, oh, wow, now I know exactly what I need. And man, I'm glad this guy was here because I didn't even know to ask this. And so a lot of times people go from getting someone's attention, jumping right into qualifying, say, okay, show me all of your statements or show me what you're doing. I mean, and we don't have the trust and the credibility yet in the relationship. So if we ask a diagnostic question, we get trust, credibility established, then maybe now someone can commit to doing a review or looking through their numbers. And then we're going to present solutions, and then we're going to have you know, people move to action. It's called closing in sales, but we're going to move people to action. So those 5 stages, if you have questions at all 5 of those stages and know what stage you're in, you're not going to jump ahead in the conversation and lose people because they're not ready to move forward in that process for your business. So we got to add value first, is my point.
Awesome, Jeff. We've got 2 minutes left in the huddle. It always feels that way. Not everybody gets to ask a question, and everybody benefits. So thank you for being there. Giovanni?
Thank you, Saurel. Thank you, Jeff. I think we can, I don't know, do you want Mary to say something or not necessary?
We've got 1 minute. Go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Jeff, it's been a real pleasure being in your space. But what I wrote down for myself, which is interesting because you just said it, is you're engaging with people during this time. And everyone needs to have people engaging with them in some way, caring and valuing who they are and what they're up to. So thank you for being that in the world. I appreciate that. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, you want to put your contact information in the chat in the event that people want to get a hold of you? So I got a lot, Saurel. I got a lot of powerful opportunities to look at the current environment, right? One of the things I got real quick, I got positive thinking sometimes work. I really get that. Being positive all the time doesn't work. Always. So positive thinking sometimes work. Negative thinkings always work. And I totally get that. I can't see myself when it didn't work. And positive action equals growth. And I could see it from myself, Saurel, for ourselves, how we have taken some positive actions and have led to just really unbelievable opportunities to create value for people. And the other thing I really got for myself was that in the environment that we're in, some people are more willing to be in business and some people are less willing to be in business, but now have an opportunity to see a lot more people. So, and then the other thing I love was ask diagnostic questions. Ask questions that really create value for people rather than just moving into a sales call. So thank you so much, sir, Jeff. That was unbelievable. I don't have anything else to say other than thank you for your energy. Saurel, take us home. Take us home, and then Jeff, you can say our last word.
All right. Well, this is the Daily Huddle. We're committed to you getting what you need to make great decisions in your life and produce superb results. And Jeff, you created that context for everyone, right? I will walk away noticing my positive thinking and seeing how effective my negative thinking is, and jump right into positive action to create the life I want. Thank you so much for contributing that. What are your last words, Jeff?
My last words is that connecting with communities like this, when we connect with other people and get into powerful conversations, in our own heads, our monologue isn't always so good, but when we get around other leaders and when we are leaders ourselves and share and connect with people, it really uplifts us. Whatever we share, right, so it expands, right? So as we get into powerful conversations, both the ones that we need and also the ones that we share, it puts us at a different place. So look, I think people like us connecting, but we need it as well. We need to connect, especially right now.
Well, thank you for connecting, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Daily Huddle today.
Thank you.
We're off, and we'll be right back again tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.